The active track feature on the DJI drones, the Mini 3 Pro, the Mini 4 Pro, the Mavic series, they're all the same, and yet there's one feature which I think is a lot better. Let's do this. Hello and welcome once again to the channel on this very nice day in the UK. Some non-rain for once. Anyway, on with today's video, and it's all about the active track feature on the DJI drones. As I've just said, the Mini 3 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, the Mavic series, and how this one feature can, well, in my opinion, be a lot better and a lot smoother. Let's get straight into the video and look exactly what it's all about. So the first example of focus track that I'm going to show you is the point of interest. I did do a video on this a few months ago. However, if you take note of the horizon, and you'll notice that it bobs around, and as soon as the drone took off, you notice that the gimbal changed and it altered slightly. And in this example, you'll notice in a minute that the horizon starts to bob up and down. You can just see it just here with the cloud formations, how that is altering. And there's an easy way to solve this by using the cruise control feature, which I'm going to show you in this next example. So in this next example, I've created an orbit manually by using the sticks. I'm sure you know how to do that, and I've enabled cruise control. Now you can see what I've purposely done here is not yaw the aircraft enough, and how you can recover this. So by just adding that yaw motion to the orbit and then updating the aircraft's cruise control, as you can see just here, that's now been updated. And now if you notice the horizon, how more steady that is, and gives you a lot better and a smoother flow as you're orbiting around your subject. What this also does is it puts your subject perfectly in the center of the frame, as you can see. This next example is the use of active track, or as they call it now, active shots. And basically all we're going to do here is the parallel tracking. That's going to track me down the field as we go. So as we set off, as you can see, the gimbal once again rises up and it takes you slightly out of frame. But as you can see, it does a pretty good job at tracking people, cars and boats. And I'm sure you know all this. But the purpose of this is to show you how you can do it once again with cruise control. So we're going to set that up right now. Basically all it is a right hand push and make it track me going back up the field. And purposely I've pushed the stick too far to give you an example of how you can recover this once again using cruise control. So I've slowed it down. I'm waiting for it to pick up and catch me up, get to the right speed, and then off we go. With cruise speed is now been updated, and if I was to walk a little bit quicker I would have been more nearer in the frame. But you get the idea, is that you can do it with cruise control as well, make it a little bit more dynamic. And you probably noticed that the gimbal didn't move either. Another example using cruise control is if you're a solo creator, you can actually have the drone come into shot. As you'll see in a moment, I'm just taking myself out the frame, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to push left, and I'm going to activate, there you can see it, cruise control. And now what's happening is the drone is coming into my shot, and then it's going to carry on going and then take me out of shot as well. Another move that you can use if you're a solo creator. One of the things that you can do with active shots in manual mode is get it to track you, as you know. Now what I don't like about this is you can see it's tracking me from the front, but the default position is on the rear. So the drone is now starting to think about coming around me and go to the back of me and start tracking me again. Had I have started this tracking from behind, it would have then carried on tracking me up that field, which is slightly annoying actually. But same thing again, by using cruise control, basically all I'm doing here is getting the drone to go backwards. I've enabled the cruise control, as you can see, and now that will just carry on in the same path in cine mode, nice and slow. And as you can see, it will keep on tracking me. You can adjust, once again you can adjust the speed. As you can see just here, I've updated the speed, and you can see now it's doing a perfect track in front of me. The way to do this with active shots is to actually start from behind and then tell it to go in front of you. Similar kind of tracking shot by using cruise control once again, this time from behind. This saves you a lot of time just by using cruise control once again, and the beauty of it is that gimbal won't move if you was to make a sudden move or walk behind a tree. Using tracking, it will sometimes lose you, but in this way it's a sure way of getting a perfect tracking shot. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best features on the Mini 4 Pro. Another example that you can use, as you can see just here in this shot, is for solo creators. If you wanted to fly through a scene where you're walking and it's not actually tracking you, but you want it to come across you and go through your scene, once again by using cruise control you can do exactly that. It gives a feeling of depth and it reveals the location that you're in. Another example of this might be if you wanted to fly directly across yourself or across a certain object, a point of interest, basically pushing forward on the sticks. As you can see, cruise control is enabled, and what that does, that will just keep constantly flying across you, revealing your location and scenery in front of you. You could actually use the gimbal up maneuver for this particular shot. One of the features of the active shots I'm not particularly keen on is using the auto function. As you can see in this example just here, basically it goes through a different set of moves according to what it thinks it should be doing. At the moment it's on hold, and then it's going to swing around me in a minute and it's going to track me from behind. I'm not too fussed on this one because you don't know what's coming. It could be useful if you wanted to do a variation of shots, but in my opinion I'd much rather use a cruise control. So there we go, there's just a few examples of using cruise control. And finally, tracking a car. As you can see just here, my car in Wales, that was using active track. But you can also use cruise control, seen in this shot just here, where you can actually follow a car yourself, and this can also be done using cruise control. Fantastic feature. So there we go, cruise control. How good is it? Well, I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. I did a video a couple of weeks ago about how cruise control can be your best friend. If you've not seen that video, I'll leave a card up there. And what it can do for you, okay? Not just doing drone moves, but as you saw in those few examples, using it as active track. And I think it's far better. It's far superior. You get a smoother shot, you get a smoother background, and you get that dynamic range with it. And there's no gimbal movement as well, and that's a good thing. So hope you found it useful and informative. As always, if you have, don't forget, give us the old thumbs up. And if you're new around here, why don't you consider subscribing, dinging the dong, and all the rest of it that goes with it. I'm sure you know me by now. And you might like to watch those couple of videos I've chosen for you. And if you do, I shall see you over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.